Estadio Panamericano in San Cristobal, Dominican Republic. Game 2 of 2 today as Cuba take on Canada here in Group A. Sean St. Jacques on hand for this one. This is the penultimate match day in Group A. As we take a look at the pitch conditions, rain percentage has gone down drastically since our first game today. 85 degrees. The wind has gone down a tick as well, so we're expecting very, very pleasant conditions for our final game of the day as we take a look at the Group A standings. Big game for Canada. If they can win, they go into the final match day in very good shape to qualify for the Women's Under-20 Concacaf Championship. Cuba have to win, and of course that goal difference is massively against them. They need 3 points to keep their slim hopes alive. It is a very, very important contest between the Canadians and Cuba, and the kickoff, along with our starting lineups and more, is coming up next.
Damas y caballeros, démosle la bienvenida a los equipos de Cuba y Canadá para el partido de esta noche del clasificatorio femenino sub-20 de Concacaf 2023. Nacionales de Cuba y Canadá. A continuación, el himno de Cuba. ante Canadá.
Great rendition of both Cuba and Canada's respective national anthems. Again, Sean St. Jacques, happy to be back with you for our final game of the day here at the Concacaf Women's Under-20 Qualifiers. We are in Group A, a 5-team group, and this is a very important game for both teams. We start with the starting lineups, of course. Miguel Logal side for Cuba. 2 goal scorers are in the 11. Leonette Franco, who captains the side, has a goal to her name so far in these qualifiers. Sheila Vega has scored once as well. And Dalia Ledesma, coming off the bench, has the 3rd Cuba goal of this tournament so far. 3 points essential to keep Cuba's hopes alive of potentially stunning this group and advancing. They have to win today, and then they have to win on Saturday if they are going to advance. Of course, there's some goal differential work that would have to go in their favor as well. Kadeen Foster leads our officiating crew tonight for the second of 2 games. We had a tremendous first game between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Martinique. We'll see if Cuba and Canada can follow us up with more tremendous soccer here in game number 2. Florian Jourdet, he's the captain for Canada in the middle. A Canadian side that has been really, really tough to stop, and I think that's putting it mildly at this tournament. So far, Sydney Ty's group has had 12 goal scorers of the 21 in the squad. 6 have multiple goals. Annabelle Chukwu has 3 of them. Rosa Malouf has 3 as well. They will lead a very talented front line. And on the bench, Olivia Smith has 6 goals to her name so far in this tournament. Again, 12 of the 21 in the squad have scored at least once. 6 of them have scored multiple goals during this group stage. For Cuba, they do have 1 win under their belt against Martinique last time out. They won by 2 goals to 0. Canada, on this 3rd game for them, have rolled through their first 2 matches rather convincingly. We'll see if Cuba can make life difficult for them in this group. Again, the team that would actually benefit the most from Cuba, beg your pardon, from Canada dropping points would be El Salvador, who sit on 9 points at the top of this group. And of course, as fate would have it, if Canada can win, they will face El Salvador in a win or go home final match day on Saturday. Cuba still has a slim chance, but they have to win if they are to keep their hopes alive of getting to the Under-20 Women's CONCACAF Championship. Canada would be in the driver's seat to qualify if they win tonight's match. Cuba has plenty of attacking talent, but Canada are so deep, and they are the favorites to go through in this group, even ahead of El Salvador, who have really been very strong as well. But first things first, these 2 meet here in San Cristobal. Cuba has to win, so does Canada. And if Canada can win, they're in the driver's seat. A win for Cuba keeps their slim hopes alive, but they'd have to win again and win convincingly on Saturday on the final match day. Canada control in their reds from head to toe. Cuba are in their blue and whites. And the blue and whites of Cuba are on the defense so far, with Canada, they're all reds, playing out of the back. Early touches in the midfield. Ella McBride trying to settle things down for Canada early on after some good Cuban pressure. This is Geneva Hernandez-Gray. Beg your pardon. Rosa Malouf trying to make some space appear. Ball through the middle was cut out, but Canada get possession right back. Cuba began this qualifying round with a 2-1 loss to El Salvador. This was 6 days ago on match day 1. They beat Martinique 2-0 on match day 2. That kept their hopes alive. But now they have defending to do here. Cross into the middle. He's headed out by Diane Suarez, and it is a Canadian corner. And his coach Logal knows that it's a stiff test today, but Cuba have shown that when they get going, they can be capable. Canada have put 27 goals past, combined between Martinique and St. Vincent and the Grenadines on their first 2 match days. They have been extremely tough to stop in the attack. The corner doesn't lead to anything on this occasion. Cuba do drive them out. Sophia Murdoch, though, recycles. Plays a lovely ball in behind. This is a big chance early here for Canada. Shot is blocked in the end. Chukwu couldn't get the shot away. It's still not cleared, although Amanda Allen couldn't quite get a shot in. Cross into the middle is blocked as well. Cuba know they need to get some bodies in front, but can they regain possession? Not at the moment. Amanda Allen of Orlando Pride in the National Women's Soccer League. Nearly scoring there, had an opportunity to take an earlier shot. And that's a lovely ball threaded through. It falls for Ella Ote, who has scored once already. She could set one up. It's a good shot. 2 shots there saved by the goalkeeper. And Shyla Hernandez keeps Canada out. 2 really good point-blank saves. And Sydney Ty's group comes very close to scoring inside of 3 minutes. Well, we expected Canada to be on the front foot early. That has come to fruition. But 2 great saves from Hernandez, and an offsides flag sees Cuba regain possession. Sent high into the air towards Jourdain, the captain. She's able to flick this on for Allen. Allen tried to shoot from a very tough angle, had 2 red shirts in the middle to aim at. The player for Orlando Pride and Canada sends it wide of the goal. Sozorike, the defender, helping Hernandez tie her boots. That's what teammates are for. Once in a while, I hear someone ask, well, how come the goalkeepers can't tie their own boots? And my reply, and I think any goalkeeper's reply to that would be, put on goalie gloves and try it yourself, and then come back and ask the question again. Well, this headed through again by Ote. Malouf has some space for a cross here. It does take a nick on the way through. Cuba wastes no time in clearing it, and it's out for a corner kick opportunity. Canada's leading goal scorer actually starts the night on the bench. Olivia Smith, who plays her collegiate soccer at Penn State in Pennsylvania in the United States, has 6 goals in the tournament in the group stage phase, but starts the night on the bench. Nia Rose has 4 goals. She's off the bench as well tonight for Canada, so plenty of attacking firepower on the bench as well for the Canadians. But again, it's what we kind of expected out of Canada coming into this group stage in Group A, that they would be the favorites. Again, they've got this game in hand on El Salvador. A win would see Canada have a very big advantage because of their goal differential going into the final match day. Ball is threaded through nicely here. This is Allen. Allen with the outside of the boot cross, and the offside flag is up. Tried to find Annabelle Chukwu. It's a lovely idea. Ball is very well placed, but the run was early. referee blows the whistle here. Dean Foster from Haiti is our center official here in game 2. There's a Cuban player down here behind the play. Alianis Robert is slow to get up here. Well, Sydney Ty will talk things over. Canada have been the more aggressive side. Robert's having a bit of a tough time of this here. Hopefully she is okay. The last thing Cuba would want to start the game is to lose an important defender. Cuba does have a goal scorer off the bench. Dalia Ledesma, mentioned her earlier. Defensively, there are only 2 defenders listed on Cuba's bench, at least by position. Again, midfielders can play that position from time to time, but you wouldn't want to lose one of your better defenders this early in a must-win match. Robert will come to the sideline and likely rejoin us, which is good to see. Cuba have defended well to start this game. They've had to. As Canada continue to try and push for the opening goal. Murdoch under pressure, just about got that away. Canada keep possession through Zoe Marcassini, who's also scored in this group stage so far, has 1 goal to her name. A lot of players in this Canadian side who play for different colleges. Again, NWSL representation as well with Allen. Also, 4 players on this side play for the Whitecaps Academy. That's an attack that fizzles out. Needed a better touch from Malouf, who's had a great tournament so far. Ends up leading to nothing. Just to finish the point, 4 Vancouver Whitecaps Academy players are in this side as well for Sydney Ty. So there's plenty of talent and pedigree amongst the Canadian group. And almost all of the players I just mentioned have scored goals in this tournament. And 12 of the 21 in the squad have scored once. 6 of those 12 have scored at least 2 goals. Jourdain, the captain, tried to make some headway in the midfield. It's sent all the way back to Faith Fenwick. And she picks it up. Ella McBride, we mentioned her earlier. She goes to Providence College in New England in the United States. 2 Providence College Friar representatives for the Canadian side. University of Alabama is represented on the bench by the backup goalkeeper, Coralie Laye, as well. And then, of course, Olivia Smith, the leading goal scorer, mentioned it earlier, a Penn State player for the Nittany Lions in the state of Pennsylvania in the U.S. Allen, the Orlando Pride, couldn't quite get on top of it. Cuba trying to clear. It's more good pressure high up the field from Chukwu. Cuba settle for a throw deep in their own end. Oh, we had a great game earlier. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Martinique. Drama that really knew no bounds in the first game. Finished 1 apiece. Both teams went down to 10. And I have to say, haven't seen every minute of the qualifiers, but that was one of the best games of this group stage, at least as far as how much drama we had. It seemed like every few minutes something crazy happened. Both of those teams earned a point. And again, Martinique's tournament is over, but Cuba does play St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Saturday. Game that Cuba, especially if they win tonight, has to win, and will have to win by a lot to keep their hopes alive to potentially catch and maybe even pass, who knows, Canada and or El Salvador. And that's why this game is so important for Canada, because El Salvador would be in the box seat on Saturday for their meeting if Canada cannot win the game today here against Cuba. So El Salvador will be rooting for Cuba to get a result here, and then they will be in charge potentially on Saturday. That's a lovely ball flicked through the middle. Canada are in behind here. It's a big, big chance, and it is taken. Captain's goal for Florian Jourdain. And with 11 minutes gone, Canada pick up right where they left off a few days ago, and they lead by a 1-0. Well, it's a lovely first touch pass through the middle by McBride, and Jourdain takes it beautifully inside the penalty area. The run is timed to perfection. Lovely skill, composed finish. It's why she has the armband. One of the reasons why she's the leader of this very, very strong Canadian side. And the early pace that has seen Canada have a lot of chances has led to the opening goal. I just said that Canada has to win. They're off to the right start that they would have been hoping for. And as we've seen already in this tournament, one can turn into two and then many more after that if opponents aren't careful. Well, it was still in play. Looked like that was still on the line, but it was tough to tell from this angle as Hernandez Gray of the Vancouver Whitecaps Academy has appeared to have won Canada a corner. Took a while for the ball to roll out, but when it did, Jourdain and Canada won this set piece opportunity. It's a good ball curled in, headed right back out of play by Robert, and it's going to be another corner. And the reason this goal is important for Canada is because their goal difference is now at plus 28, and it's actually more than double better than El Salvador's. And it could get better here. It falls at the back post. Two players, Ote and Marcassini, were in the area, but the attack fizzles out. Might have been handled on the way through as well. And it is a set piece for Cuba as they can clear their lines. And because Canada's goal difference is so much bigger than El Salvador's, and El Salvador's is very, very good. Plus 13, you would take that in a group stage. Because Canada have done so well scoring goals, they would just need a draw. That's why this one is so important. If they can just get a draw, granted if they win this game first, on the final match day, that would be enough to send them through. Ball's played forward here, well read by Fenwick. And she sends Canada on their way down the far side. Allen for Chukwu. Chukwu's ball through the middle was well placed, but just out of the reach of Rosa Malouf. Well, the ball is flicked back over. Malouf might get another shot at it, but the flag is up. Malouf's already had a few chances. 3 goals for her so far in this group phase. We've already seen why everyone is so high on on Amanda Allen. Amanda Allen has already shown some great stuff already in these first 15 minutes. Jourdain, the goal scorer, deflected that forward. Malouf tried to reset, but Murdoch was beaten to it initially. Then wins the second challenge. Canada can build again. Ball through the middle looking for Chukwu on this right center side of the penalty area is going to trickle out of play. Jourdain has the opening goal for Canada. And they are in good shape to start this game out. Jourdain's second goal of the tournament. Can Cuba respond? Lovely control initially as the ball was played forward into the sun. Now the ball is threaded through again. Chakwu tries to leave it. Jourdain picks up the pieces, but is stopped by two Cuba defenders. And Castellanos trying to run through, but she was stopped. And then it's a trip, a foul, and a free kick. As Hernandez-Gray wins a set piece for Canada. Ball is thrown back in by Jada Collin, who's also scored at this tournament so far. Again, for those that are just getting into this tournament or need a refresher, only the top team from each group advances, as here was the foul earlier on Marcassini. Didn't quite let Montalvo turn, I should say. Tell you what, Nachi Montalvo is still down here for Cuba after that challenge. Again, only the 6 group winners advance to go to the Under-20 Concacaf Women's Championship next month, late on in May 24th through June 3rd. That's why, and normally in a group stage, right, you would say, well, if you just get into the top 2, that's enough, but not in this format. Qualify, you have to win the group. Got to see the Dominican Republic on home soil advance yesterday. That was great to see for them. This is not so good for Montalvo. He's going to need to be helped off the pitch, which is a tough sight to see as both teams talk this over. Here's the goal. Got Canada off and running. Jourdain took it ever so well. Their second goal of the tournament. And that is how Canada was able to take their lead a few moments ago with 11 minutes on the clock. Great finish from the captain. Cuba gets it back in play. You can hear the Canada bench cheering every time they get to a first ball now. Now it's a lovely ball played in behind for Amanda Allen. Allen assesses her options, tries to curl one, it's deflected. Second opportunity from Malouf is deflected out, and it is a Canadian corner. Malouf on the short take. Return pass is sent into the middle. Falls for a chance, and the volley is miscued in the end by McBride, and Hernandez collects. And unfortunately, it does look like Montalvo is going to leave us. Cuba does have to make an early change. Sabrina Bahamonde is going to come on at the 20-minute mark here for Cuba. It's tough to see, but Coach Logal has to make an early change. It's been just about one-way traffic, but Cuba's back line and midfield have been holding their own in defense so far. Will they be able to create chances of their own to potentially get back into this game, but more defending to do in the meantime. Maloof makes a nice run, stays on the ball, goes down. Challenge came in from behind. Referee says it's clean, and it's a goal kick. Maloof asking the question whether or not it was a corner. The assistant referee now does point her flag down to the corner, so it is going to be a set-piece opportunity. I think the initial question was it a penalty? Quickly that changed to whether or not he had last gone off of a Cuba defender. Coach Logal did have to make that change. Now his team defends another corner kick. Jourdain played it short, crossed in low, dealt with defensively by Yelian Boza, and he's back out for a corner. The ensuing corner was whipped in towards the penalty area, the 6-yard box to be exact, but too close to Hernandez, who read it well. Well, so far, Canada have been very comfortable playing with the ball out of the back. Cuba have put a bit of a press on them, but for the most part, it has not deterred Canada from playing it out of the back, although that time they were harried a bit. Fenwick does bail them out, but it leads to Audi getting on the end of it and winning a throw. Although the Cuban bench is very happy with the way Suarez dealt with the challenge, and rightly so. Good start for her side to begin this game. Maybe just pondering a couple of missed opportunities to add on to more than just the one Jourdain goal that they've scored so far. He's forced all the way back to Fenwick. More good press from Cuba. Has to be said, they do get the ball back here. That's a nice turn here by Vega. Vega plays it out wide. A shot does come in. Was there a handball on the edge of the penalty area? Referee says nothing doing. Slightly better passage of play there from Cuba. Didn't get a shot on target, but did get to create something in the final third. That is a start. Ball is played down the line here. Maloof beaten to it. Another concedes the throw. Well, if they need it, Canada has plenty of attacking talent on the bench. No question about that. Well, that's for later on in the match, potentially. Chukwu, lovely run. Tries to cross it into the middle. A shot does come in. Again, from a very difficult angle. Not a bad strike at all. And in the end, Rosa Maloof can't hit the target. Lovely run from Chukwu. Tried to pick out a teammate centrally. Cuba had enough players behind the ball to deal with the initial threat, but then Malouf unleashed one, and it went wide of the goal. Cuba trying to play the ball out of the back. It's deflected out. They'll keep it with a throw. Throw-in is going to be taken from further back. Allen. Hernandez-Gray. All the way back for Cassini. Again, under pressure, but is able to flare it to this near side. McBride in behind for Allen. Allen, did it strike a hand? Referee gives a throw. Ooh, maybe a rock smile there. Did the referee miss one? Canada keep pushing. Adi's ball into the middle. Ooh, it was blocked by Jourdain. It's not been cleared. And then it is sent forward by Castellanos. It's controlled at the back by Fenwick. Was played through the middle. Canada maybe a little bit lucky that it didn't get picked off. Played out wide by Hernandez-Gray. Malouf crossing it into the middle, but it is up and over the top of Amanda Allen. And everyone really rolls out of play for a Cuba throw. Hernandez-Gray. Poking it out wide. Collin to the byline, still in play. Collins' cross is headed high into the air. It is cleared away by Kenny's Castellanos once more. Canada do pick it back up. Malouf lays it off. Nearly fell for Jourdain after a good run from Hernandez-Gray. And he is able to send it back forward. Now it's Allen's turn. Amanda Allen tries her luck. It's deflected off of the captain, Jourdain, and out for a goal kick. A more bright play from Canada. But they have still yet to add on to that one-goal advantage. Cuba trying to hold firm, trying to give themselves a chance to get back into this. Let's see if Canada can wear them down as the game goes on. Amanda Allen. Allen cuts inside. Thought about shooting. In the end, gives the ball away. But it's quickly won back by McBride. And the Canadian touchline appreciates that effort. Again, Canada put 15 past Martinique on match day 1, then 12. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so far so good for Cuba, but they haven't had a clear-cut chance at the other end. That's been the one flaw so far for them. But the first 30 minutes of defending for Cuba should be commended. No one else has been able to hold Canada for very long at all in this tournament. Cuba so far has been up for the task. Jourdain picks up the pieces. Hernandez-Gray. Gets past one, sends it through the middle. It was the right idea. It's lovely skill, but the ball was just too far out in front of Chukwu and too close to the goalkeeper, Hernandez. Out of play it goes in front of the Canada technical area. And the team in front will keep possession. Sheila Vega's goal on match day 1 for Cuba ended up being a consolation in a 2-1 defeat against El Salvador, who currently top the group. It was that 2-0 win against Martinique. Franco scored, the captain, and Dalia Ledesma, who's on the bench to start proceedings tonight, scored the other. And again, that's what's given Cuba a chance here, if they can win. That's the thing. Take a look at this last challenge. A little bit of a coming together. Styralis wins the free kick. That's the thing. Cuba do have to win the game. If they do drop points, it'll be between Canada and El Salvador on Saturday to decide it. Sent forward by McBride, kept in by Allen. McBride wants it back, and she's going to run out of room. In Group B, we saw Panama qualify on 9 points. They've had a tremendous tournament. They've scored 29 goals themselves in the 3 games that they have played. Had the pleasure of seeing the Dominican Republic qualify yesterday in a tough group over Guyana. Puerto Rico going into the final match day. They are in good shape. They have 9 points, and I believe they've qualified. Jamaica as well. We look at Costa Rica. There's plenty more to decide in that group. In Group F, Guatemala and Nicaragua trying to make a place happen for them as well. And again, the USA and Mexico await next month. Those two have already qualified. We've already seen some of the teams that have clinched a spot to join them, and it is setting up to be quite some tournament next month when the championship will be contested. Canada again looking to add on to their lead. Great ball to Chukwu. Chukwu steps over, gets to the penalty area. It's a great ball across. Maloof again just couldn't size it up. And Canada win a corner out of it. Jourdain, who scored the first goal, and it finds the head of Oti, but it is over the top. No good service. The finishing touch, though, just wasn't on target. 10 minutes left in the half. I think Cuba would take it if it stays like this going into the halftime interval. They would still be in with a fighting chance at it. But can Canada add on here? Ball in behind from Jourdain, and Chukwu again sees it roll into the waiting arms of Shaila Hernandez. Oh, the ball bounces here. Cuba nearly get a chance to run onto that. Hamonde, the substitute, trying to touch it forward. Cuba still have possession here, although Ella McBride makes sure that it is short-lived. Should be worth noting as well, Canada can't qualify tonight. They do have to win and then take care of business on Saturday. Again, the perk of winning tonight is that Canada would only need a draw against El Salvador. Again, they'll certainly go for the win in that scenario if it occurs, but they are certainly trying to go for all 3 points. Cuba have to win. Any other result would see them be eliminated from the chance to go on to the championship. Malouf's had plenty of chances. Chukwu, Allen, Jourdain has scored already. Hernandez, Gray. Cuba's back line, along with that midfield. I think people forget that sometimes when talking about defenses. How integral, I should say, the midfield is in keeping goals out. That combination has what's kept Cuba in with a fighting shot at it. Remember, they had to make an early change as well. Montalvo had to come off for Bahamonde. They continued to push and continued to stay in the game. And sometimes that's enough. These late moments can certainly change how the game plays out. Meanwhile, lovely ball for Allen to run onto, but it's a wonderful challenge and clearance. Jourdain, the goal scorer. McBride. Not a dangerous pass. Vega not able to get a touch to it, although Cuba had a brief moment to break there before it was broken back up by Hernandez Gray. Run down this far side. Malouf again is the target. It's cut out. Malouf, though, gets it back off the ricochet and is fouled. A challenge did come in there from Ortega. I forget a brief word there, but it is a free kick for Canada. About 6 minutes left in the half. Jourdain will take it. Looping it in towards the back post. And in the end, Adi just couldn't square it up, couldn't center it, or take a shot. Jourdain puts a great ball in there. The two Canadians unmarked. Allen putting pressure on. Both got tangled up. Allen is penalized for that. And it is a Cuban free kick. Substitute, Hamonde is brought down. And a rare chance here for a Cuba set piece. Bahamonde does get taken out there by Sophie Murdoch. 5 minutes left in the half, and Cuba has a chance here to create a big opportunity from this. This is probably the biggest piece of defending Cuba's had to do all night. The shot comes in, it goes right into the wall. Second chance is deflected off the boot of Ortega and into Fenwick's arms. Mael Ortega struck it well, but not high enough to breach the Canadian wall. It was in front of the penalty area. Canada come back the other way, trying to extend the lead. It's a great run, crossed into the middle, deflected out for another corner. Coach Logal's side continue to hang tight, hang tough in the game. Getting to halftime here with this scoreline or better, though, could be a huge boost of confidence for them. We've seen what Canada have done in the first two games, and they've certainly not been afraid. 3 minutes left in the 45. Let's see some stoppage time on the back end. Allen tries to recycle it after the initial ball in was cleared. It's a nice little run here from Elise, but she's dispossessed. Allen wants it and gets it down the far side. This is Geneva Hernandez-Gray. Played centrally for Murdoch. Adi under pressure does well. Flared out to this near side. Chancer Marcassini. It's a great ball in, and it's headed out towards the edge of the penalty area and sent out of play. Needed a good head to that to make sure there was no second chance. That's exactly what happened. Cuba survive another Canadian wave of attacks. Another one is going to follow here. Chukwu gets past one. Gets past a second. But the pass splits the two teammates she could have been aiming for. And Hernandez has it. And it's a captain's goal from Jourdain that has Canada ahead, but only by the 1-0. Canada come flooding forward again. Collin to the byline, cuts it back. Hernandez-Gray. Jourdain finds another opening and scores again. Florian Jourdain has a brace just before halftime. That's a crucial goal for Canada. 2 for the captain and 2 for the Canadians. Cuba's great resistance is broken here. Lovely first touch, puts it onto her left, and finishes beautifully. Hernandez-Gray did the dirty work. Jourdain capitalizes on the chance, and Canada now, if they weren't already, are in the driving seat in this group. Captain's example for Canada, and they are 2 to the good just before halftime as well. Canada, or I should say Cuba rather, could have gone into halftime at just the 1. You'd think maybe, just maybe, they'd still be in with a chance. Is this a sign of things to come? Canada on the attack again. Jourdain on a hat trick, gets the hat trick. 2 goals in 2 minutes for Canada. That's how quickly they can strike. Although I think this might be coming back, or has it? We do see 2 added minutes. I think the goal has been ruled out here for offside. It has been. Goal does not count. It stays 2-0. Well, you could hear some of the shock on the side from Canadian bench. It must have been on that initial pass because Jourdain, of course, is onside here. The pass that went to Hernandez-Gray, I think, is what was under scrutiny, and it keeps it at 2-0. Canadian touchdown, you could hear them say how surprised they were that that did not count. But again, I think it was for the pass out wide to Hernandez-Gray, not the feed into Jourdain, who is obviously onside. It's a break for Cuba. We still need it to win this game, of course, but 2 is certainly in a better scenario than 3. One minute left in this first half. Jourdain has both of the goals for Canada, but here comes Cuba here. Daimalis crossing it into the middle, and the attack does fizzle out for Cuba on that occasion. Hernandez-Gray on the counter. Chukwu playing it through. It's a lovely ball for Malou. Flag is up. And it's offside, although Hernandez had it covered. And that might be the last major act of the first half. Ball is sent forward. And that's how the half ends here in the Dominican Republic. 2 captain's goals for Florian Jourdain. She's up to 3 goals in the tournament. Cuba's defense was very stout for a good chunk of the half, but Canada have taken 2 of their many chances, nearly a third, if it weren't for the offside flag. Big second half for Canada coming up. They have to see the game out, but at the half they're in very good shape to not only win the game, but to potentially qualify as well. Work for Cuba to do in the second half. They have to win, and at the half, it is Cuba 0, Canada 2. Briggs is going to come on for Canada, along with Maya Archibald as well. And that third change is going to be Renee Watson, who enters for Canada. Cuba did make a few changes as well. Canada leading by 2-0 at the half. Cuba have to come back and win to stay in with a chance to qualify for the Concacaf Under-20 Women's Championship. Canada with a win would just need a point on the final match day this Saturday, and they would take the top spot away from current leaders El Salvador. Although in the live table, Canada are the group leaders. They just have to see out these next 45 minutes, and Amanda Allen and company will then be very much on their way. Cuba going from right to left, start off the second half. Canada lead 2-0. And if it stays like this, they will be in the box seat to win Group A and advance on to next month's Concacaf Under-20 Women's Championship. The captain, Marion Jourdet, has both of the goals and nearly had a first half hat trick if it weren't for the offside flag. That is a foul and a free kick. Cuba will take it. The big Cuba substitution at halftime was Dalia Ledesma coming on, number 17 in blue. Has scored in this tournament. She's on the ball there. Tried to cross it into the middle. It was blocked away. She's trying to get the ball back. Canada are able to get it up the field. It does ricochet back out of play by the Cuban technical area. And it is a Canadian throw. Maya Archibald plays in the Whitecaps Academy as well, one of 4 players in this 21-player side to be part of that academy, the MLS, in the United States. Renee Watson came on as well. As Blanco came in for Castellanos for Cuba at halftime. That is a like for like, although a little bit more attacking. Ooh, that's a big challenge on Hernandez Gray. And Robert is the guilty party. So Ledesma came on there for Ortega. And we get another look at this rash challenge. Ooh, a little bit surprised the yellow card didn't come right out there. It appears that it is just a free kick. So that Kayla Briggs came on for Annabelle Chukwu at the half. Jourdet curls. And in the end, it's easy for the goalkeeper. Watson came on for Adi, so that's 1 goal score in for another. I beg your pardon, Renee Watson yet to score at this tournament. And then it was Colin, that was the third change, just to confirm all 6. Archibald on for her. So 3 changes each during the halftime break. Briggs of the 3 substitutes is the only one who has scored for Canada at this tournament. Olivia Smith and Nia Rose have 10 goals between them. They're still on the bench for Canada. They'll be getting some rest for Saturday, although Cuba can make a comeback. The plan might have to be amended. We'll wait and see. Ledesma out wide. Ball is placed into the penalty area for Fenwick to collect. They've already had 2 games in the books already today. St. Martin beating the Bahamas 3-1 earlier today. And then a wild affair here in San Cristobal. Our first game of the day. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Martinique. That game finished 1-1. Both teams lost a player, went down to 10 in that game, and both teams missed penalties as well. Wild affair. And of course, those 2 are also in Group A. Just goes to show how much drama we have seen. There have been some lopsided games, but there have also been games with a lot of action and a lot of drama. And our first game is the epitome of that. Chance for Archibald to run onto this, but it's deflected out. And Canada have a throw 4 minutes into the second half. This could fall for Allen. Allen weaves her way past a few defenders. It's still in the penalty area. Jourdain, who's on a hat trick, tries to keep it alive. Canada do win a throw-in out of it. Those keeping track of the schedule for these group stage qualifiers, there are 2 games tomorrow. Big game between Nicaragua and Costa Rica tomorrow night, as Cuba just about clear their lines here. St. Lucia and Belize is the first game tomorrow, before that big set of games on Saturday. Push and a chase on this near side, Daimalis, but just no space to really run into. And the tough part for Canada, only a couple of half chances for them so far. When they pressed Canada, things have happened for Cuba, but they've been missing those clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities that Canada have been able to create plenty of in this game so far. 50 minutes gone in it. Allen down the line for Hernandez-Gray. Good defending by Robert, and it is out for a throw. This is Amanda Allen. Allen gets it back, incisive passing from Canada on the perimeter. Great ball in, although maybe not as pinpoint as it looked when it was released. And it's wide of the post from Renee Watson. Watson's challenge. Great persistence on that far side by Boza. Canada will send it all the way back to Fenwick. Fenwick out wide. Nice turn into traffic and out of traffic by McBride. She found a teammate. Settled by Briggs initially. And Malouf is fouled. Referee spots it for Dean Foster. And it is a free kick. Jourdain has both of Canada's goals. One more could really see Canada put a stamp of authority on proceedings. A little bit of miscommunication between Allen and Briggs. Canada win it back high up the field. Allen tried to feed Hernandez-Gray, put it too far in front of her. Jourdain, great hustle to win it back. And shields and wins a free kick. She takes it quickly. Hernandez-Gray tried to find Malouf, and it is cut out. Malouf again. Through for Briggs, who's brought down. Canada asking for a penalty. Referee has not given it. Cuba plays on. Well, players and staff from the bench were also asking the question of the referee. I will say, it did look like it would have been just inside the penalty area if it was to be given. Cuba may have dodged one there. First look, you could have seen the referee give it. Now Watson. Jourdain in the middle. Briggs is in the middle. And Briggs is offside. A much better service down that left flank. Briggs wasn't able to finish it, but it wouldn't have counted anyway. Hernandez-Gray controls off the initial header by Watson. Nice turn into space there. It's a threaded ball for Briggs. Jourdain's in the middle on a hat trick. And she sends the chance over the top, although she appreciates the great service and the interplay that led to the chance. With Jourdain now up to 3 goals for the tournament as that gets ricocheted back to Hernandez. Canada now has 7 players that have scored multiple goals at this group stage. Jourdain came in with 1. She now has 3 after the race from the first half. That has Canada in good position. Long way to go, but you have to give Cuba a lot of credit. Canada came in with big credentials, big score lines, and Cuba have hung right with them. Allen crosses it into the middle. It's dealt with and cleared, but only as far as Hernandez-Gray. Her shot is blocked. Jourdain still looking for her hat trick. Sends it up and over the top. More good play from Canada leads to this. It's actually Malouf who lays it off. It was the right idea once more from Canada, but Jourdain with that brilliant left boot she possesses could not quite put it on target. Here comes Canada again. It's Watson. Flag is up as Briggs tried to find a cutting Allen. And Briggs has been vibrant since coming on. Oh, lovely turn again from Hernandez-Gray. Briggs back to her. And then trying to feed it once more through to Malouf. He's cut out. Amanda Allen. Ended up losing out. Canada do get a throw. And the pass in the end for Watson is slightly astray. Sophie Murdoch was in that area before the pass was released, of course, but couldn't quite link it up on that far side where Watson's been patrolling. Cuba again win it back relatively high up the field. What can they do with it? Just poked through for Vega initially, but Canada are all over it. Plenty of players behind the ball. And they do, in fact, deal with it. Back to Fenwick it goes. Sean St. Jacques here with you. 33 minutes left in this one. Final game of the day in Group A and overall Concacaf Under-20 Women's Championship qualifiers. Canada trying to see this out and have the inside track at qualifying for the championships next month. Allen's ball in. Malouf's header. And Malouf stays down after the collision. Hernandez came away with the ball. Malouf gets right back up. Although there is a Cuba defender that stays down at the end of the play. Well, Allen's ball in was exquisite. Another look at it. This was the collision. Oh, it ends up being a bit of a sandwich there with Malouf trying to go past 2 Cuban players. Boza was the one that got the worst of it in the end. Another chance for both teams to reassess where the game is at the moment. It's really a mountain to climb for Cuba as far as what they need as far as staying in the running to qualify. They have to win. And the tough part is they have to score 3 goals in order to do that. On the other side of things, Canada are in pole position because if they can win, they just need a draw against El Salvador because of their goal difference, which is now up to plus 28. Beg your pardon, plus 29. Hernandez sends it forward. Back to Hernandez, who will reset for Cuba. And Maloof went right back onto the field. We were waiting on Yilian Boza. As we approach the hour mark, hopefully she is okay. We'll see if she's okay to continue as well. Canada is readying a sub. In the meantime, it is Moratidis who's going to come on. Providence College player. And it is going to be the captain, Jordi, who leaves us with a brace and a great performance from the captain. So the captain is replaced by Providence Friar of the Big East Conference in American Collegiate Soccer. One of two Providence Friars, actually, amongst the Canadian squad. Alabama's represented Penn State as well, for those that follow American college athletics. Hernandez Gray trying to take aim for Canada on the edge of the penalty area. Cuba deal with it once more, continuing their stout defensive effort tonight. And rightly so, Madame Logal, the coach, is loving the effort they're putting in. In the bottom left-hand part of your screen. For those that watched the first game today, this one's been relatively tame. First game, everything happened between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Martinique. We had 20 minutes of madness at the beginning of that game. Everything you could think of took place. And then there was more wild moments throughout. This one's been more straightforward. Great Cuban defending, but good clinical finishing from the Canadians. Chance for Canada to come forward again. Amanda Allen. Briggs in support up front. Maloof plays it to this near side for McBride. Still McBride. Archibald was there on the overlap, but the pass was too late to get there. And by that point, I think she might have even been offside, even though the pass was off the target anyway of where she was trying to feed it in. Substitute Ledesma is fouled. Cuba win a free kick. Lovely turn off the first touch. The two 17s greet each other. Both substitutes. Briggs fouls Ledesma. And here comes some more Cuban substitutions. Maria Guillen is going to come on. Zozanike is going to come off here. Ana Fernandez is going to come on as well. The captain, Leonette Franco, is going to leave us. And then finally, let's see here, this is Demalis. I beg your pardon, that's the Franco change for Fernandez. So Cuba make their changes here to try and change the tide of the match. Allen threads it through nicely. Shot is blocked from Maloof on the edge of the penalty area. Controlled at the back by Murdoch initially. Archibald. Allen's touch is short. And McBride's challenge is rash. Cuba win a free kick. Ledesma forward. It's been the end of the field where Cuba just haven't been able to create enough. That's the tough part about, at times, needing your defense to have such a big game. Sometimes you're not always able to then turn that into great attacking moves. That's the very strong defensive side in Canada. Again, everyone looks at the goals and they sit in awe and go, man, that attack is just so tough, but this Canadian side is just as good on the back end defensively, and they've shown that throughout this tournament. They still have yet to concede a goal through nearly 3 games here. El Salvador will certainly provide a stiff test on Saturday. But again, if this holds, Canada would only need a draw in that game. The Dominican Republic had a similar scenario yesterday. They got a draw, although they nearly scored against Guyana. It was a fun affair as well in Santo Domingo. And the Dominican Republic advanced to next month's Concacaf Under-20 championship for the women's side. And to do it on home soil, great for them, was a really cool moment yesterday. And again, this was the headlining game today. On this penultimate match day for Group A. And again, there's 2 games tomorrow, and then Saturday there is plenty of action that will define who will go on to the next stage and join the U.S., Mexico, Dominican Republic, and others, and potentially Canada, if they can see out this game and the next. That field of 8 is going to be very, very deep. It really could be a tremendous tournament and climax to the tournament. This ball is in behind for Briggs. Briggs keeps it alive, and she scores! Kayla Briggs through traffic makes it 3-0 to Canada. That surely secures the points on the night and puts them in the driving seat on Saturday. First attempt was not definitively cleared. She just needed to redirect it on target. It's exactly what she did. Kayla Briggs scores her 2nd goal of the group stage, and Canada are surely home and dry with 3 points. Valiant effort from Cuba tonight. There's still a long way to go, of course, but that might be the moment that sees Canada secure all 3 points tonight. Now, since she's come on, Kayla Briggs has been very active. It's been a great spark of energy and enthusiasm for Cindy Ty's bunch. It culminates in her 2nd goal of the tournament and Canada's 3rd goal of the night. Well, we saw Canada score 2 goals in quick succession in the first half. Can they do that again here? Archibald. It's kept in with a throw. Allen. Archibald just onside there. Allen in tight quarters. Poke towards this near touchline. Cuba having some trouble clearing it. They can see the throw. Cuba brings one of the many that play for NDC-CDN Ontario in Canada for their club play. It's a mix of Canadian club teams, American colleges, and, of course, can't forget, MLS Academy thrown in there, and, of course, Amanda Allen playing in the very, very strong league, of course, the top American Women's League, the NWSL, with Orlando Pride in the state of Florida. That's what Cuba were up against. That's what was placed in front of them, I should say. And they have been tremendous defensively, but Canada have started to wear them down. They have 3, and they nearly had a 4th, Hernandez-Gray. And Watson was in there as well, tried to get on the end of it, but to no avail. "20 minutes left. Fenwick. Allen. Near side, Archibald. Murdoch. This is Amanda Allen. Just to keep the attack going. Lovely skill there. 2 defenders trying to stop her. She wins a free kick for the Canadians. Titus, the substitute. Players a good ball in. It's in a chance for Watson after it bundled around. Hernandez is able to get on top of it before it continued to potentially bounce around in the penalty area. Could have gone anywhere off that initial ricochet. And Cuba can relieve some of the pressure as they win a set piece just by the midfield line, just on their own side of midfield. Well, again, we talked about what this means for Canada. What this result means for Cuba, of course, is that they would be eliminated from qualifying for the next round. Even with the extra game in hand that they have, they do play St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Saturday. That's the early game. However, because they would be stuck on just the 3 points, it wouldn't be enough, as El Salvador are already on 9 points, and Canada, if they hold on, of course, would join them on 9 points and have a better goal differential than El Salvador. So despite a valiant effort from Coach Logal's group, their chances of moving on would end tonight if this result stays like this. Canada win a throw as the clearance comes in off the Allen cross. Briggs stays with it. Allen couldn't quite get on top of it. Renee Watson lets one fly. That's a diving save by Hernandez down to her right. Ball goes out of play on the far side. Canada make another substitution. Jamie Perrault, he's going to come on. Rosa Malouf, with 3 goals to her name in this tournament, exits in the 74th minute. So Perrault is on for Malouf. Malouf maybe a bit unlucky not to score in this game, had quite a few opportunities. Perrault takes her place. Jamie Perrault is one of the 4 Vancouver Whitecaps Academy talents for Canada. Actually, all of them have gone on except for Claire Logan in this game today. And again, we still haven't seen the likes of Nia Rose, who has 4 goals so far in this group stage, Olivia Smith has 6 goals. That leads Canada's cause. Both of them have not played today. I'm curious if we do get to see them on Saturday when El Salvador and Canada meet with all the marbles up for grabs. Just under 15 minutes of the 90 still to play. Canada led 2-0 at the half. Both goals from the since substituted captain Jourdain. He's up to 3 goals in the group stage. And then great finish from Kayla Briggs, the substitute, just a few minutes ago really, to give Canada a lead of 3-0. Was deflected. Perot will chase it down. This near side. Does get a boot to it. Gets taken down. Wins a throw. Flooded out of bounds briefly there. But the decision does go Canada's way. It's a throw-in. Nice turn. Ball is played in behind for Briggs. There was a bit of a collision after the ball was released. I don't think the referee saw that. Well, maybe she did. She brings this back. I'll beg your pardon. The offside flag, I think, is up here. It's going to be Cuba who restart. That's a foul. And it is a free kick. It's going to go against Cuba. Watson draws the foul. Chance for Canada here. Ball into the middle for Perot. She has to backtrack to get to it. Trying to get a chance to send this back into the middle. She finds some space for Hernandez-Gray. Gray stays on her feet. Archibald assessing her options. Slicing ball through here for McBride. Great ball in for Perot, who could maybe cross it into the middle. She does, but it was behind Briggs, who was waiting to put the finishing touches on it. But the attack just didn't quite come to fruition. More great build-up play from Canada there. Just needed a more incisive ball in behind. That's the face of goal. Cuba, brief chance to counterattack here. There is a Cuban player down behind the play as Canada do regain possession. See if we come back to that. And the referee now has stopped play. Balta Taimalese is still down here for Canada. About 11 minutes of the game still to play. Potentially some injury time after that. Remember, Cuba had to make a substitution rather early in this game. which definitely impacted the first half. Here's the follow-through from Moratides on this near side. I think that's what led to, I should say, this injury stoppage. Dean Foster was able to get there and spot it. Let the play continue, and obviously we did come back to it. And hopefully she is okay to continue. Still have about 10 minutes of the match left. But again, in context, I think some people would say it was quite comfortable for Canada. At times it was, but once again, needs to be reiterated. The defensive work of Cuba in this game has been very, very strong. Very good bright spot for them to take into their final game of this group. Try to finish things off on a high note on Saturday. Again, before tonight, no team had been able to keep Cuba out of double figures as far as goals. Canada have given Cuba a real game here. And Canada want to add on here. Great cross into the middle. Hernandez-Gray, and then it's touched in. Kayla Briggs has a brace. It looks like the flag has stayed down here. Canada do add a fourth. Briggs is up to 3 goals this group stage. And now Canada have a convincing scoreline in their favor. McBride with the cross. And I'll tell you what, there are 2 defenders keeping Briggs onside. It's the right decision. Hernandez-Gray, and actually might have needed that touch from Briggs. Briggs was saying that it didn't mean to, but I think that's going wide. And it was a good thing for Canada that Briggs did stick a boot out. She does apply the finishing touch. 2 goals since coming on as a substitute. 3 goals for the tournament, 4 for Canada on the night. And now they are in cruise control on their way to 3 points. I will say, like I just mentioned, the scoreline doesn't tell the full story of the game. But Canada have worn Cuba down a bit here in this second half. And that is a very late and rash challenge from the substitute Ledesma. I would be very surprised if Ledesma gets away with that without seeing yellow. And it looks like she has. Well then, I think the referee has let her off the hook there. That should have been a yellow card. Seen a little bit of frustration there from the substitute. Actually, now that I check, I don't think there's been any bookings in the game. But that one was certainly worthy of a yellow card. McBride back to work on the far side. She's dispossessed by Suarez. Nice play from Cuba on this far side. It's sent forward. Damalis can chase, but Fenwick is there to clean it up. And it is out for a throw. Well, Faith Fenwick hasn't had much to do tonight, but anytime she's been involved in the play, Canada have been cool, calm, and composed with the ball at their feet, playing their way out of the back. And nowadays, in soccer all around the world, that is a very important piece to have, a goalkeeper that can play with the ball at their feet and get players involved at the back so they can either play their way out from the back under pressure or create opportunities down the field for attackers and wingers in the final third. And Fenwick certainly checks off those boxes, especially on the former side of that. Well, sent out wide by Maya Archibald as Canada are in search of really making this convincing. Played in by Moratides. McBride couldn't get to it. Cuba trying to clear their lines. They do. With 6 minutes left of the 90. Hernandez-Gray. Substitute, Maya Archibald. A little bit of a heavy touch. Cuba do pick the pass off, but then they get it right back. Again, just a quick recap. 2 players have scored the goals for Canada tonight. As Cuba will clear this out of play for, looks like a throw. That was very close to a corner there. Jourdain had a brace in the first half, nearly had a hat trick. Denied by the offside flag at the end of the first half. And then the substitute, Kayla Briggs, has come out and scored 2 herself. And that has been the Canadian attack tonight. And it's going to be enough for 3 points. They'll be up to 9 in total. And set up a big match with El Salvador, with the winner advancing, and Canada will have that draw possibility in their back pocket. If they get up just a point, they will still advance over El Salvador on goal differential. Again, the tournament is not over yet for Cuba. They do get St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Saturday, and they'll try to finish it off with 3 more points. As that is a foul and a free kick. It's going to go Cuba's way. Canada feel that it should have gone in their direction. Guillen, beaten to it by Perot. Archibald, still Maya Archibald, crossed in for Hernandez-Gray, and McBride just misses the target. Clearance was a little bit short. Perot did get ahead to it. However, it sent further back up the field. Great encouragement from Coach Legal, even head coach on the sideline, trying to make sure his players finish this off strong. They've had a very good performance tonight against a very, very difficult opponent. And nearly a chance to win that back very high up the field. In the 88th minute, Cuba's pressure is still making Canada work here. As Moratitas was harried there at the back. In the end, Canada do get out of it, as they have all night long. Anytime they've been under pressure, they've struggled, but then they have found a way to play their way out of trouble. Briggs, who's on a hat trick. Archibald, dispossessed, and then commits a foul. And Elise wins the free kick. Another look. And there was a bit of a nudge in the back there. Time Elise was down earlier, she's down again here in the 89th minute. Give her credit, Daimali. She was able to play on through the first injury. Needs to get stretched out. This Cuban side has given their all tonight, as we've come to expect in this Group A. Coach Logaro has made 4 changes, I believe, so far tonight. Good to see Daimalis back up on her own 2 feet. As we're about to find out how much stoppage time there's going to be at the end of our final game today. She stomps it out on this near touch line. Daimalis does rejoin us. Ball's deflected out wide for Watson, and Canada will reset as we're about to finish off the 90 initial minutes. There will be 4 minutes of injury time to finish this one off. Archibald on the near side. Two players with 2 goals for Canada. They led 2-0 at the break. They've scored 2 more in the second half. Both goals in the second half by the substitute Kayla Briggs. And Canada are going to be in very, very good shape for Saturday. El Salvador awaits. It's going to be a very fun contest. El Salvador will have to win. Canada just need a draw. Meanwhile, Watson in the search for a cherry on top. And it is deflected out for a goal kick. There's that confirmation of 4 added minutes from earlier. And we played 1 minute of it. Oh, and actually this was deflected out for a corner. Didn't look like that initially, but Canada do get a set piece. Goes right to goal, and it's well held by Shayla Hernandez, who's had a very strong afternoon, or I should say evening, herself. She provides a great outlet ball for Daimalis to control. Although she is dispossessed, more great Canadian defending by Murdoch. Now Perot on the counterattack. And she is stood up. Cuba win a throw. Challenge comes in. It is a foul and a free kick. Maria Blanco, the substitute here. Oh, I'll tell you what, didn't look as bad as maybe the Canadian reaction would lead you to believe, but she did not draw off the ball. There was no contact between the legs or the boots, so it was more of upper body contact that led to the free kick being given. And Canada keep it with 1.5 minutes left. Archibald. And seeing this out. And they're 1 minute away from 3 very important points. Again, going into the night, it was a must-win game for Canada. And once again, they have done the job. One last attack forward here for Cuba, looking for a consolation. Monde dispossessed. Archibald. Far side, Watson. Final seconds of this encounter. All the way back it goes for Murdoch. And that is that. Canada wins by 4-0. And they are on 9 points. They stay perfect. They have yet to concede a goal in this Group A. 2 goals for the captain, Florian Jourdain. 2 goals for the substitute, Kayla Briggs. enough for all 3 Canadian points. They top Group A, going into the final match day where they just need a point to win Group A and advance to the Concacaf Women's Under-20 Championship. Spare a thought for Cuba. They were tremendous defensively throughout this game, but they were worn down by the very, very tough and relentless Canadian attack. They have one more game to play as well on Saturday against St. Vincent and the Grenadines, with a chance to finish on 6 points after they did win against Martinique on match day 2. But tonight, Canada proved once again to be too much, and they win by 4-0. Again, the captain with 2, Jourdain, in the first half, both of those coming there. Briggs with 2 in the second half, and you see there Coach Legal very happy with the way his Cuban side played. They showed well against one of the toughest teams in the region. And in the end, Canada do end up with the points. They now, after a remarkable first 2 games, have a plus 31 goal differential to take with them into Saturday. Let's recap it with full-time match highlights here. San Cristobal, I should say, in the Dominican Republic. Second game of the day at the Estadio Panamericano. Canada were on the attack for most of the game. This is the first goal from Jourdain in the opening minutes of the first half. A lovely left-booted finish after a great ball in behind from McBride. Lovely touch onto her left, and a lovely finish as well to give Canada the opening goal that they needed to really jumpstart the game. And again, Cuba were so strong at times defensively, but Canada did manage to break them down. Chuck Wu here was able to get into the penalty area, and it was a great strike from Rosa Malouf. It just went a whisker wide of the post. Plenty of venom in the effort, but it didn't quite come off. Then Adi on the back post here towards the midway point of the first half, couldn't quite finish it off. But then when you need a moment, go to the captain. Jourdain scored again to make it 2-0 Canada just before the halftime interval. She actually scored a 3rd time, but it was ruled out via offside. 2 great left-booted finishes had Canada up 2-0 at the break, and they were in good shape, but Cuba proved to be stingy defensively in the second half. Canada continued to wear them down, and they did get a 3rd goal from Kayla Briggs, the substitute, who swept it in. That made it 3-0 at the time. Canada, of course, would go on to win, but this was a tough ball to control under pressure for Briggs. She managed it very nicely indeed to give Canada their 3rd goal of the game. Cuba continued to put pressure on Canada at times up front. The defense continued to try and stop the waves of Canadian attacks, but Canada kept on pushing. This was a chance for Watson, the substitute. Good save from Hernandez, who had a very strong evening as well. But then more Canadian interplay. This is McBride, who sets up the pass into the middle. Hernandez-Gray shoots it initially. It was actually going to go wide. Briggs taps it in for 4. And Canada would go on to close it out and get all 3 points to move up to 9 points and at the top of the group. 2 players did keep Briggs offside there. For those that were wondering, live it looked like she may have been offside, but there were 2 Cuban defenders that kept her on, and she pokes it home for Canada's 4th. And it was enough for all 3 points. And they are in the driving seat due to their goal differential over El Salvador going into Saturday's final match day here in Group A. Really fun day of action here in San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic. Thanks to our entire crew for both games today as we take a final look at the Group A standings. Again, just to reiterate, because of goal difference, Canada now just need a draw on match day 5, or I should say match day 4, to finish things off here in Group A. It'll be the 4th game for each of those 2 teams on the final match day of 5, and Canada has to get a draw to advance. Just the 1 point needed for them. El Salvador need to get all 3 points if they are to overtake them. Once again, a final thank you to our entire crew. I am Sean St. Jacques. So long from San Cristobal. Canada wins our final game of the night over Cuba by 4-0.